Kirby Puckett is in the ICU here at this hospital right now. He's surrounded by many family members and friends. It's important testimony from Lauren Hesbeck for a couple reasons. He was there and he was wounded. The bus was going up this hill and police say for some reason it stalled, rolled backwards down the hill, and it was a dramatic close to the testimony portion of this trial. Bridgette Bornstein for CBS News. Reporting live from Capitol Hill in Minneapolis, Bridgette Bornstein for CBS News.
The man arrested in connection with the disappearance of North Dakota college student Drew Shadeen. She has not yet been found. Bridgette Bornstein of our Minneapolis station, WCCO, is in Grand Forks, North Dakota with the very latest. Good morning to you, Bridgette.
Good morning, Julie. 50-year-old Alfonso Rodriguez Jr. is expected to waive extradition in Minnesota this morning, and that would clear the way for him to be brought here to North Dakota to face charges in the kidnapping of Drew Shadeen. There seemed to be no explanation for Drew Shadeen's disappearance until last night when police raided the home of a convicted level 3 sex offender in nearby Crookston, Minnesota. Alfonso Rodriguez was released from prison in May. According to the Minnesota Department of Corrections website, he was found guilty in June of 1980 of assault and kidnapping for stabbing a woman and forcing her into his car. Neighbors were well aware of his criminal history and the likelihood that he could offend again.
Being a woman and having a class 3 sex offender living across the street, you kind of know, keep your distance and just, keep a safe watch.
For more than a week, searchers have looked for Drew Shadeen in farm fields, along highways, even underwater. Drew's sorority sisters have helped in those searches. They're glad to hear of the break in the case, but
that scares me a little bit. We just hope that he didn't do anything to harm our friend.
Drew Shadeen was on her cell phone with her boyfriend while leaving this Grand Forks mall. Her last words were, "Oh my God, no." Then the phone went dead. There was a second call to her boyfriend a couple hours later. When he answered, he heard just static and some tones. But a cell tower picked up the signal for a full 24 hours after that. And that's why searchers have been checking areas within range of that tower for the cell phone or any clues leading to Drew.
We're looking for letters, a note that she may have thrown out of a window. Again, anything that can help us. We all have the same feeling. We know this is going to work out. We know it's going to work out. We know in our hearts that she's going to come running home. We're going to find her.
And this morning, Drew's family is still hopeful. Her brother says their mission has not changed. They need to find her and bring her home safe. Julie?
We're hopeful as well. Thanks, Bridgette.
Here's Bridgette Bornstein.
It was a single car accident, a slippery road. When she came in, they said that she had one of the worst skull fractures they've ever seen.
Michelle Reichert has been in a coma for 15 days.
Hey, miss, how you doing?
A few months ago, this was Michelle. She had just donated a kidney to a stranger, a little girl named Hannah.
But I think to my sister and what she has done for Hannah and her life. She's genuine and really generous. And she's a hero.
Not only was Michelle the rare kidney match, she had a quality you might call rare: selflessness. Here's what Michelle said back then.
If there's a chance that I could possibly save her life, I would like to do that.
In her mind, it was something that anybody would do.
The transplant was a great success. As Michelle's kidney began to work in Hannah's body, a bond developed between the families.
We'll never, ever, ever forget about you.
Because of Michelle, Hannah will live. But because of the car accident, Michelle now fights for her life. Hannah's family is back home in Israel. It's far away, but that special connection is still felt here.
We can feel their prayers and their strength, and that helps.
Regardless of what happens to my sister, God forbid that she doesn't come back to us, she's still alive in Hannah. And that's something no one can take away. It's been a magical story up until this accident, and we're holding out hope that it's going to have a magical end.
There is some encouraging news. Over the weekend, Michelle opened her left eye and squeezed her brother's hand. She is still in a coma, but these new movements give her family more hope.
Chris Jenkins had everything to live for, but after the University of Minnesota student disappeared 4 years ago during a night out and was later found dead, police said it was suicide or an accident. Now it turns out it was murder all along. Bridgette Bornstein of our Minneapolis station WCCO-TV has details.
Someone knows something. Would you please do the right thing and step forward?
November 2002. Chris Jenkins' parents cry out for help. Their son was at this Minneapolis bar with friends. It was Halloween. He was in this costume. That was the last time he was seen alive. After weeks of searching, his parents returned to their Wisconsin home with no answers.
We had one goal. That was to bring Chris home. It did not happen yet.
About 4 months later, the discovery of Chris's body in the Mississippi River. Minneapolis police investigated and eventually closed the case, figuring it was a suicide or an accident. But the Jenkins didn't buy that.
We need to continue our search to get answers.
Now, 4 years later, police agree with the family. Chris was the victim of a homicide. He was thrown from a bridge, there's an eyewitness, and a suspect.
We did make a mistake. We made an assumption. And for that, for the Minneapolis Police Department, I want to apologize to the Jenkins family.
For the past 4 years, the Jenkins have wondered, was this the work of a serial killer? But investigators here in the Twin Cities say that's not it. This is not connected to any other case. So the question remains, what was the motive? Why did someone kill Chris Jenkins? Bridgette Bornstein for CBS News, Minneapolis.
Jan Jenkins is Chris's mother. Sarah Leitner is his sister. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning.
Bridgette Bornstein of our Minneapolis station WCCO has more.
This is among the worst damage in Nicollet. It was Doug Lucas's refuge, his fresh start after he lost his home 9 years ago in St. Peter.
Everything's fallen into the basement. Roof, I don't know where that part of that's laying on the road. The other part's gone. The garage is gone. You can see that. Everything in the kitchen, smashed, busted. Everything's gone.
Heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm. But you just got to pick up the pieces and go on.
It's hard to tell which house is missing this roof. There's debris all over. Across the street, the cleanup is beginning. Where there are downed trees, the roof is ripped off the house. When the sirens sounded, Teresa Campa ran downstairs.
I was down in the basement and just heard, like they say, the train sound coming and saw the whirling out of the windows, and within 30 seconds it was done.
As soon as the storm clouds cleared, all the neighbors came out to help clean up, and they have quite a job ahead of them. In St. Peter, Minnesota, Bridgette Bornstein for CBS News.
I'm Luke Pyrocker.
You'll usually see him tooling around town, making pizza deliveries in his little electric car.
This is a gizmo. They all have names. I believe this one is Frank.
Dressing up is just a part of this quirky job.
This is my utility belt. Pirate boots are necessary. I have my sateen short shorts, which provides speed and light reflection. The cape's just there so I look good.
But what happened last night was no comic bit. It was a real-life call for help.
Last night I was leaving a delivery, and I go out and there was a woman screaming at someone to drop their purse. And
it was Terry Scarman.
Stop him, stop him. He's got my purse.
She was walking home from work at the Wedge Co-op when a robber snuck up and grabbed her purse. You were yelling, was it a struggle?
Yeah, it was a lot of struggle. And he finally got the purse off my shoulder. Constantly, I was like that.
When the robber took off with Terry's purse, this superhero sprung into action.
I was getting into my gizmo and realized what I should do, and I dropped my pizza bags and went running after.
So Luke Pyrocker and two other men chased the robber. They got him and got Terry's purse back. her heroes. Isn't it kind of surreal that a guy in a cape and a superhero outfit came to your rescue?
Yeah, it was, and I remember kind of thinking, yeah, there's the Galactica man. He can stop him. So, yeah, that was great.
Right. All in a night's work, feed the hungry, chase down criminals.
I probably wouldn't be able to move, nearly as quickly if I weren't in my full superhero gear.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Rieger.
And I'm Bridgette Bornstein in for Terry Gruca. You may remember those Cardinals and this call from just a few months ago.
No! No! The Cardinals have knocked the Vikings out of the playoffs!
That is still very painful.
Ouch.
Not exactly a great piece of video to watch, but whatever. That's old news now.
Tonight, it's time for a fresh start and maybe a little payback. Bob Rainey is live at the Metrodome, where the two teams are getting ready to go. One person is dead after an overnight stabbing in North Minneapolis. It happened here on 38th and Thomas Avenue North at about 2 in the morning. When police got there, they found one person already dead. Police tell us they do have someone under arrest. A lot of damage, but no injuries after an early morning fire in Roseville. The fire started about 4 this morning at the No Place Like Home Center. Over 70 firefighters were called to the scene. They had to cut a hole in the roof to help contain the fire. Ever want to take a ride in a hot air balloon? Well, probably not this way. A man made a daring walk between 2 hot air balloons. Now, if that isn't scary enough, listen to this. The guy was wearing a blindfold while walking on the tightrope. Look at that. Mike Howard has walked between hot air balloons before, but he's never done it blindfolded like he was today. And after the walk was over, Howard said it was an absolutely frightening experience, but he'd jump at the chance to do it again. Jump at it, get it? You jump at the chance.
Wow.
And he's often in the air. He works as an airline pilot.
He said it was absolutely terrifying. Is that what it is? I can understand that. The hot air balloons, just getting them on the same level is tough enough.
You've done that before. Come on, no big deal.
Never tried it. I barely, I'm afraid to jump 2 feet off the ground.
Some local coffee shops are adding to their menu.
Not only can you get a good cup of Java, a latte, or mocha in a coffee shop, but some of those shops are starting to sell beer and wine. Find out why they're adding alcohol when WCCO-4 News at 10 returns.
A little bit of everything for everybody there, except for the conventioners. We're going to keep it dry and sunny for them.
And it's nice tonight for everybody leaving the Vikings game, too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because there'll be a little walking there, and the conventioners stay till Tuesday.
Head to Dunn Brothers and have some wine.
Yeah, that's wild, isn't it? People are heading off for those coffee breaks during business hours now.
Bring you up and then bring you back down.
Yeah, got to watch them. Got to test them as they come back in. All right, thanks, Mike.
Did the Vikings win their preseason opener against former coach Denny Green's Cardinals tonight at the Dome?
If they went to the coffee shop, the fans might not even care.
RJ's in now with a look at sports. It is so strange to see Denny Green on the field at the Metrodome wearing red.
Well, it is. I thought you were going to say it's strange to see football this time of year, which I guess
that
both
too.
of them really apply, don't they? But yeah, and he likes to win these preseason games. Kind of nice to rub it into him a little bit right off the get-go here. Didn't really count that much.
We'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Out and About is coming up next.
Have a great night.